live once again for what should be a fantastic race here at Circuit of the Americas for the SCCA Pro Fan League, brought to you by, I believe, Formula Regional Americas. I'm Jacob Young, and well, it should be an exceptional race. We had the pro race on Tuesday. Remember, the top three get a chance to battle with the pros on Tuesday nights. So that should be very exciting indeed. We're looking right now at David Boudres. A little bit smaller field this week, but we still have Zachary Rivard. Excuse me, and Anthony Asner, Rob DeLuca, Elias Spezius, did my best there, Amy Greenway, Jackson Lee, Simon Sykes, and Reese Everard. See, that's a little bit smaller field right now. We're looking, once again there, switch to Zachary Rivard. I believe lost it through the final corner. Trying to get Rivard's car there, but either way, another one. So let's actually real quick ride on board with one of these drivers. We'll ride on board with him. That's Anthony Asner. Let's get to, well, as he spins out, but I want to talk you through a lap of this racing circuit. He's close to the end. That would be Rob DeLuca. So, coming across into the stadium section is what it's officially called. Well, it's a very tight line into that corner now, going around the long right-hander around the amphitheater, which would be on that right side. That's why you have that long right-hand turn, and you're going to want to brake about right now, almost down on the brakes, but of course this car understeers, so you're going to want to let it rotate in. This can be a very dangerous braking zone. A lot of lockups have happened, and some great battles have also been able to go on. And now, of course, starting up your lap, go through the start-finish straight technically back there to start up your lap, braking around right where he did. You don't necessarily want to touch the rumble strips too much there. You want to leave yourself a little bit of room to get ready for the nice long S's. Using a little bit more curving, it's going to compromise him for that right-hander, but able to make it work. Understeers a little bit more than you probably would have liked. You can continue it on with DeLuca. Nice and tidy through the right to left hand corners. There you don't need a let off, but here want to brake about the 50-meter board once again. Brakes at a good amount and turns in to let off the throttle. That's a key thing right now. He's not locking up the race car, and that can play a big factor, especially into turn one, especially into the hard hairpin left to right handers that we have at Circuit of the Americas. Down the backstretch she goes. Once again, wants to brake around right here. The 50-meter board does exactly that. Turns it in beautifully. Just to let off the throttle, brake a little bit to get the right turn in once again. Doing a fantastic job once again right around the long right hand turn for none other than where the amphitheater is, and also now where the Austin Bold FC plays their soccer games. Brakes really nice there, trying to push as much as he can. Where's it going to end up? That looked like a great lap. Fourth place, 2:03, 4:01. Zachary Rivard has a 2-minute point 145. Very impressive. And Reese Everard, the 2:02.490. So everyone doing a really nice job of just continuing their pace. Let's move on as well. Qualifying has ended, so Zachary Rivers will get pole. 6 drivers qualify, and 3 decided to not qualify and will start from the back of the row. Now this is going to be interesting. 9 drivers at this racetrack. You kind of take that into consideration. And what I mean by that is, with only so many drivers racing, it's not going to be as dangerous when you're going through, turn 1. Just an aerial look at Circuit of the Americas through the S's. So you can see the 2, not necessarily escape roads, but where you can make the track shorter, and just a live look at just the different sections of this race circuit. iRacing does a fantastic job to let you kind of mess with it. I know this camera angle a little bit dizzy, but makes you a little bit dizzy. Still a great camera angle to see all the different sides of the racing circuit. Now let's get back to the racing. He will be completing his lap, and there you go. Once again, Zachary Rivers will start on the point. So we rode on board with Rob DeLuca there. He finished, or he will qualify in 5th place, as we're waiting for everybody to grid up here. We'll get you the best grid spot. This looks like a great camera angle. You almost have everybody gridded up. As we're moments away from the 35-minute race here at Circuit of the Americas.
Green flag.
So there we go. The green flag is out as the 5 lights went off, and they're up into turn 1. Clean at the moment. Great battling going on right here. 3 abreast through the back, and I believe Zachary Rivers able to take away as they single file through the S's. 1 gets a little squirmy. That might be a slowdown penalty. We'll have to wait and see. Once again, a great start by David Boudres and Zachary Rivers, and able to get out and away in 1st place. Got some battling going on around the field. Rob DeLuca runs a little wide, trying to gain some spots as a start. Now this is a track, especially with these cars that don't have DRS or ERS or anything like that, the special things. It can be draft dependent, especially on the front stretch and the back stretch, so watch out for that. Especially hard braking going into turn 1, or going out of the backstretch turn. See a lot of drivers go wide, just like we saw there. 23 gets a little bit loose, and that's going to be Anthony Asner a little loose. Plenty of time for him to continue it on. Now, of course, we talked about it before, too, with these race cars. The rear tires, if you heat them up too much, especially around here, it can be a big factor where it just makes the car a little bit unstable for a whole lap, where you'll have to just make sure to manage that and cool off your tires. A little bit of a blink there, but he's able to continue it on. Now let's go around the field. Single file through there in the 31. I believe that's Budres able to continue it going. Another one, too, through the first left-hand corner of turn 1, to be exact. Puts Jackson Lee up into third place. Reese Everett in second. And a good lead by Zachary River in the early going. Ellis Spezia holds 8th position. A lot of them looking good. Let's right on board with Zachary River to see how he's been able to drive the car. Actually, cockpit cam if we can. There we go. And what's really cool about this camera angle is you get to see it from the driver's perspective, kind of like the visor cam. Up in the 4th year. Not lifting off, too. Very impressive there. It's a tough corner to try and go flat out, and he's going to go just a tad bit wide. The difference with this track compared to a lot of others is with iRacing, the track limits are so narrow. You have to stay within the lines big time. If not, while you get penalty, even if you just get 2 tires off, it will give you an X. Able to control turn 1 nicely. Eases it in. The S's. Takes a little bit more rumble strips than everybody else that I've seen so far today. So nice job managing the S's. You can tell when the car is getting a little loose, but has been able to control it. So very impressive there. From River. He's already gotten a 2-second lead, to be exact, close to a 2.4 second lead. So that's been pretty impressive from Zachary River. So 35-minute race actually going down to a 30-minute race. Has been very impressive. Simon Sykes sits in 3rd, or sits in 4th, excuse me. So the top 3, that would be advancing to, of course, drive or race against the pros will be Zachary River, Reese Everett, and Jackson Lee. At the moment, things could change. We saw it change last week in the 30-minute races. Of course, after this, they go to the Taunting VIR, Virginia International Raceway, or what it was going to be called for these drivers was the Andy Scriven Memorial at VIR Raceway. A fantastic race circuit. That's another roller coaster, and one that's rhythm dependent almost, and you just have to really be able to get everything correct. Now, look at this battle. He's starting to catch up on Anthony Asner. Gains a little bit more speed. Let's see who decides to break the latest. 2 different lines. Trying to go tighter. Gets a little loose, so couldn't put the power down as fast as Asner could. Rob DeLuca. Asner doing a really nice job on these S's. By Chase Cam, showing you this battle. Gets a little loose, and that's contact. Both get damage. Asner goes into the wall. They're going to continue it on, though. And DeLuca will take that position. Doesn't look like his car is too damaged, so can definitely continue. Just made contact on the front wing. Asner, I think, has suspension damage. So you spun in the background. Now moving along this racetrack into the flowing stadium section. That is Budres. Doing a nice job sitting in 4th position, but will maybe have to defend. He takes a lot of curving there, gives none other than Simon Sykes plenty of room to catch up. He's right on his gearbox now. Down the front stretch they go. Crosses the start-finish straight for another lap, and we'll see if he tries to make a move into turn 1. This could play different part. Yes, goes to the inside. Will take it, but spins around. And Budres able to continue with 4th position. Simon Sykes is just a little too eager. That happens sometimes in turn 1. Just over braking the car, making it feel unbalanced. That's the whole thing about these Dallara F3 cars, at least the old ones. Even the new ones technically have the same deal with the Halo. You have to be precise on your braking. You cannot over brake the race car. It just does not like that. So something to keep in mind. He's going to be able to continue in 4th position. Runs a little bit wide. I like his turns. He likes to go wide and cut inside the racetrack, especially on the hairpin turns. That's one of the fastest ways to really get around this racetrack here at Circuit of the Americas. Now, still at the moment, Circuit of the Americas, that is the track that these drivers will start their season on. It all depends on, of course, SCCA and none other than the CDC to give them and America basically the all clear and say, you can do this. You can race maybe with a little less people to watch, but I think you can race, and that will be June 5th through the 8th. That's the actual season. Absolutely love this racing circuit. Budres able to continue it going, and to keep it going, I should say. Jackson Lee in 3rd position, 3 seconds behind Reese Everard. He's doing a nice job through the S's. Really cool camera angle with that, showing you almost how difficult it is. But gets it through there. And one other thing about this race circuit is it underwent in the off-season repairs to this racetrack. To be exact, I believe all of it got a repaving deal. So that's something to keep in mind. Reese Everard in 2nd position. Doing a nice job. Only Anthony Asner down a lap because of his damage to his race car. Zachary River doing a nice job. Oh, we got one off. That is Ellis Spezia. His day might be over. So we'll take a quick little replay to it. Let's ride on board with him. Our view from his perspective. Hits the sausage curb, as they call it. Was a passenger from then on. I'll have to go back to the pits and hopefully he can get back out there and race some more. But just terrible luck on his end. He'll be in pit lane. Glad to see Robbie Luke out there just locking it up just a little, but holds it in 6th position. Above the order. Back with Anthony Asner. Asnar 1 lap down in 8th position. Nice job here by David Boudres in 4th position. Yes, he is a little bit behind 3rd place driver, and that's Jackson Lee. But Jackson Lee doing a nice job of trying to reel in Reese Everett. Also, Jackson Lee really has been able to kind of reel Everett in the past couple of laps, but still finds himself about 3 seconds back. Down the backstretch they go. So we'll ride from his front cam, but looks like he's having some internet issues. If that's the case, that's some bad luck. So we were about to see a pretty good battle unfold. Jackson Lee, yes, having some internet issues. Able to smooth them out. Like I said, very close to his opponent. Heading into turn 1. If I had to guess, the gap might have indeed lost about a second because was worried about that whole deal. Now Reese Everett, his main goal, reel in none other than Zachary Rivard, which Rivard has been just leading almost lap after lap. Hopefully you all are enjoying this race, brought to you by fans for fans on the SCCA Pro Fan League. Remember, top 3 have an opportunity every week to race against the best that Formula Regional Americas has to offer in their iRacing League. For this unfortunate offseason, but it has led some great racing online. It's, of course, different variables than you would think would be the case here. Back with our race leader, Zachary River. Holds about an 8-second lead over the field. Has been just doing a nice job. Now we go back around to Asner. 1 lap down, but in 6th position. He had to go down a pit lane to get some damage fixed, if I'm not mistaken. So that's why he sits where he is at. Simon Sykes in 5th position, about 4 seconds off from David Boudres. Just trying to gain some time. But has been doing a nice job. Spun out a couple of times because he was trying to push as hard as possible to get to, well, maybe a podium position or something like that. So yeah, those of you who are watching, want to get your opinions on this race and who you might think will win, or who you might think will be the podium. Of course, as we continue on with this race, just want to give you all some updates on, I guess, a whole from F4 US to FR Americas. Today, Alliance Racing brought to you by Yas Monkey Energy Drink. They signed David Dalton Jr. He's a good friend of the Tip of Texas Sports Network and got interviewed once, so expect another interview to be pretty soon with that driver. So very exciting times for that driver. Ever 9 seconds back of the race leader, Zachary Rivard. Once again, Rivard has had, well, 2 straight weeks in a row. The leader of this race has really kind of run away with it, and that shows how skilled they are, how much practice they've put in to try and race against the pro racers and anything out of the ordinary like that. So it just shows you how much these drivers, of course, want to win. And outclassing the field sometimes is what you have to do. It's been very fun to watch. But back to close to the back of the field, Anthony Asner. He's in 6th position. He's been running a good race. He made contact by, I believe, Simon Sykes, and that's why he sits where he's at. But we also might have a battle on our hands pretty soon. Still a good distance away for Boudres, but that might have been a corner cutting. Don't think it was, but you can tell by this camera angle how close they are now. Still about a second away. Boudres makes a nice corner. That will help him indeed. Only difference, once again, you don't want to use a lot of curving, especially through that section. Trying to keep it as neat and tiny as possible. He has to push now for an opportunity. Look at that. Look at that from Sykes. Really closing up the gap. Into the braking zone they go, into the backstretch. Sykes will have the advantage, as he'll have a little bit of slipstream to help him try and make something maybe happen on this backstretch hairpin. Braking close to the 50-meter board. Will he decide to brake later? About the 50-meter board, he broke. Helped him out there. Really gained some time. Under pressure from Sykes once again. And sometimes, of course, if you're Sykes, you're hoping that you might force Boudres into a mistake. That can happen. We've seen it happen before here, not only in this series, but other series as well. It's something that is known to be a factor. He goes on to the front stretch. Getting closer and closer to the end. Close to 5 minutes to go now in this race. Boudres will hold this position. Doesn't lock up. But now you got Simon Sykes right on his gearbox. Just about right on his gearbox. Almost about half a car length between them. The signs break early. The dirty air is pretty bad in these race cars too. Always is pretty bad, just messes with the downforce and all of that. So Boudres has the advantage through there. But right on his bumper. Or right on, excuse me, his gearbox. We'll take the inside. And we'll get him clean. Now Boudres has the opportunity. Goes to the inside, down the back straight. And we'll have the advantage through the braking zone. Looked like he ran over the curves a little bit too much. Will drift wide. That will allow Sykes to get right back into it. Pushes out wide. Sykes decides to stay behind him. Through the long right-hander. We'll keep that position for another lap. Fight for fourth place. This has been a great battle. Now Sykes with the advantage going into the S's. Yeah, fantastic move by Sykes there. Just deciding to stay behind him until the time that he needed to. And now we'll try and push away from Boudres. We'll try and maybe make an opportunity, make a move for third. Though time is not on their sides for a podium position. As close to 10 seconds separate Jackson Lee from Reese Everett. Or Simon Sykes from Jackson Lee, excuse me. look at our race leader, Zachary Rivard. Really like he's on a Sunday drive. Really cruising along in this race lead. Did his practice, like I said, that he needed to do, and took off for this race win, almost. As long as nothing happens to his internet, or as long as he doesn't basically spin out and hit the wall, he should be fine on his way to another victory. Look at this. The battle continues. For another lap through the S's they go. Still with Simon Sykes. Sykes able to block out any opportunity from Boudres to try and take advantage of it. But of course he will have the slipstream going down the backstretch, trying to take advantage of it. And there he goes. Loses it, heats up the rear tires, just like I said, or decided to try his hardest to try and get back on the power a little bit earlier. And that was the difference maker. So nice job from Sykes, being able to fend off that position for at least the time being, though this seems like that's the final lap. I believe Sykes will get fourth position, maybe one more lap to go. Yes, indeed, one more lap to go. Been a spectacular job, spectacular drive from each of these drivers today. Reese Everett looks like he will lock up second place, and Zachary Rivard, your race winner. The final sector. What a great job from Rivard. Your top three as they stand, Rivard, Everard, and Lee. Then to round out the field, Simon Sykes, David Boudres, Anthony Asner, Rod DeLuca, Ellis Spezia. For the 8 drivers. Once again, what an impressive drive from everybody. Well, once again, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you all enjoyed. This was a blast to bring you once again for the second round of the SCCA Pro Fan League. Brought to you by, I believe, Formula Regional Americas. Until next time, when they're at VIR, I've been Jacob Young. Adios.